Bom dia a todos. Para começar, onde é que está o João Pedro? João Pedro, faz favor. Para começar, aqui. Queria apresentar-vos o João Pedro Pereira, jornalista do Público e o jornalista que motivou, concebeu o projeto que o ano passado foi considerado, nesta edição anterior em Portugal, dos Media Labs do Global Editors Network, como sendo o melhor e o mais interessante, e que por essa razão participou depois no Web Summit que a Global Editors Network organizou o ano passado, já organizou outro este ano. A Evangeline, que é TC, e que ela she represents, acho que é melhor, she represents a Global Editors Network and she is going to address to you. Eu só preciso de vos dizer e de vos agradecer em nome da Associação Portuguesa de Imprensa e também em nome do Público e também em nome onde é que está o Benjamin. Oh, Vanessa, chame lá aí o Benjamin, se faz favor. Foi embora? Não. E em nome do Global Editor Network, terem aceito este nosso desafio. É um desafio muito especial, porque é um desafio para a língua portuguesa. Pela primeira vez, além das equipas, o Benjamin tem muito que fazer, mas eu quero que conheçam e que saibam que este foi o homem que concebeu, faz favor, ali, 3 minutos, que concebeu tudo aquilo em que nós estamos e que deu asas a este laboratório do GEN de uma maneira completamente diferente. Como vão ver, as asas do laboratório do GEN este ano são coloridas, são ativas. O ano passado nós fizemos no Senjor, que o espaço não era muito diferente em termos de idade, mas era muito diferente em termos de concepção e de força. Portanto, também muito obrigado ao Benjamin por ter aceito estar também connosco neste desafio. E agora é só dizer muito obrigado. Isto não há muitas palavras, porque as palavras são vossas, as ideias são vossas. Há depois que organizar algumas equipas. Sei que, portanto, e isso eu quero vos dizer, que temos aqui colegas que vieram do Brasil, de São Tomé e Príncipe e de Cabo Verde. Estamos à espera ainda de alguns colegas da Guiné-Bissau e também vieram alguns colegas de Espanha. Portanto, conseguimos aqui, do ponto de vista da língua portuguesa e da Península Ibérica, reunir um pensamento que eu acredito que no futuro venha a ser apenas o princípio de muitas e muitas sessões destas. Dito isto, agradecidos a vocês os dois, sem os quais não estávamos aqui. Evangeline, moi je m'en vais.
Ok.
Et c'est à toi de leur dire ce qu'ils doivent faire.
D'accord.
Okay? Thank you very much to all of you.
Ok. So, bem-vindos a todos. É prazer estar com vocês aqui. Estou a aprender português, mas é muito difícil. So I'm going to switch to English. So I'm Evangeline. I'm the program director from the Global Editors Network. And we're an international network of editors-in-chief, mostly from these newsrooms. And we're based in Paris, as you might have guessed, but we're working internationally to accelerate digital innovation in newsroom. To do so, we have a variety of programs. We have the first Data Journalism Awards. So if you're a data journalist, there are data journalists in this room, you're going to be able to apply this fall. We have Startup for News, journalism startup competition. We have this many trainings program, and we have, last but not least, Editors Lab, so the program you're now into. So Editors Lab, it's a worldwide series of hackathons. We've organized more than 50 hackathons in major newsroom all over the world, and it's always a bit the same format. So we trap you, people from different newsrooms from across the media spectrum. We trap you in a room, and over 48 hours, over beers and laptops, you develop amazing, innovative prototypes. And then at the end, we award a winner. And the winner is invited to our summit in Vienna this year in June. So if you win this competition, you're going to be invited for an all-paid trip to our summit in Vienna, where you're going to meet all the winners of all of our hackathons all over the world. So we call that very humbly the World Cup of Newsroom Innovation. I call that the Woodstock for Geeks, because it's just a great opportunity to meet media innovators from Indonesia, Australia, Argentina, everywhere. So 2 years ago, Público won, so they've been sent to Barcelona. And this year it's going to be in Vienna in June. So you might be thinking, well, how does it work? What are the rules? So we have 4 judging criteria. It's very, very straightforward, I must say. The first one is editorial, so how innovative, how is your prototype, how well it benefits to user. Second one is how is, how user-friendly is the interface, how creative is the design. Third one, development, so how functional is your prototypes, and we're expecting, no pressure on the developer, but we're expecting functional prototypes, and how technically advanced. So don't panic if you're not able to do a functional prototype. I mean, no one's gonna die, it's fine. So you can show mock-ups and talk about the roadmap to implement the prototype. Fourth criteria, it's impact. So how scalable is your prototype? What is its potential scale? What impact will it have on user? Is it really feasible technically and logistically? I always say there are 3 things to avoid. First one is glittery gadget. I see that at all, every hackathon. Nice prototype, pretty design, works well, really impressive at first sight. You're like, wow. And then you play with it for 2 minutes and then you're like, it's not, in the long term, it's not going to have any impact. So you have to think about the benefits for the user in the long term. Second thing to avoid is impossible fancy. Super cool prototype, great, but like the implementation of the prototype, it would take like the work of 50 developers over 6 months, and that in your developers, in your newsroom, like the teams are really stretched thin. They won't have the time, the resources to do that. So think about something that is, implementable, something realistic. Because what we want really is that this hackathon is the starting point of innovations that will really happen in the next couple of months. Third thing to avoid, it's reinventing the wheel. Always see that at every hackathon. It's totally okay, like you must know that it's totally okay to, scale up something, to build on something that's already existing. So there are loads of bits of code, loads of great prototypes on GitHub. So if you want to improve a prototype, it's totally fine to me. Speaking about GitHub, so we encourage you to share your code and, with nice documentation if possible. The goal is we have a community where we put all of the prototypes that are created during the hackathon, during all of our hackathons. So the goal is that you create a prototype in Portugal, then maybe in our next hackathon in Munich, someone will, find your prototype, work on it again, develop it, and then maybe this prototype might be improved again by another newsroom from our network. So I'd like to show you, just to give you an idea of what you can do in 2 days. I'm going to show you 3 prototypes that have been developed in previous hackathons. Okay, sorry, I've forgotten something extremely important, the theme of the hackathon. So new ways to hold political powers accountable for action and promises. Keep that in mind. Sometimes teams, just forget, like me, forget the theme. Very sad. So I'm going to show you 3 prototypes, and we're going to start by one. I know you know already this one because I love it, I must say. I keep presenting him. I love it. So this prototype has been developed at ProPublica, by ProPublica in the US in 2013. And, well, they want to tackle a huge problem, the problem of heart failure in New York. In New York, you have half million persons that are affected by heart disease. So it's a daily risk for them. So I need a volunteer to play. It's a little game. It's funny. Okay, let's go. So sorry, what's your name? Pedro. Everyone is called Pedro. It's true. Anyway, so Pedro is going to be our volunteer today. So Pedro is going to have a mission. Pedro is like a doctor, so you're going to have to save as many lives as possible. To save a life, it's not too complicated. There's a little icon representing a victim that's going to appear on the screen. Pedro is going to have to drag the victim to the nearest hospital.
This is the victim?
This is the victim.
Where is the hospital?
The cross.
Here?
Oh, good, good, good. Okay. Pedro is killing people. It's because Pedro is too slow. Sorry. Pedro is too slow at clicking on the icon. It's as if Pedro was a doctor and he was too slow at arriving at the location where the heart disease happened. And in real life, I don't want to scare you, but if you have a heart disease right now, if you are a heart failure right now, for 1 minute that passes, your chance of survival decreased by 10%. So and it's the same in the game, but they compressed 1 minute into 1 second. So the time Pedro takes to click on the victim, every second the chance of the victim, decreased by 10%. And then they calculate the time it takes to go from the location of the heart failure to the hospital by taking the Google Maps API. Now that you know that, let's try again. Haha, why Pedro killed somebody? Because you see there's another criteria. You see there are different kinds of crosses, red, dark green and light green. And that's not neutral at all. It's a gradient of the different type of hospital using the Medicare data. So you see the dark green are really good hospital, light green average, and red it's really bad. And it has also an impact on the chance of survival of the victim. So if you play the game, what you will realize is that if you have an heart attack here in the Bronx or in Brooklyn, your chance of survival are really, really bad. If you have an heart attack in the middle of Manhattan, you're going to make it. So I think what's important is that it really raises awareness on the inequality faced by New York citizens when it comes to healthcare. And it can be a tool also to put pressure on the government to say, on political power to say, so why there's nothing here and why all the bad hospitals are concentrated in the same zone. So thanks a lot, Pedro. You did very well.
Thank you.
Because so that was, and you must be asking yourself, though, how difficult was it to implement? So after 2 days, I had a functional prototype and a nearly finished design. And what they say is that what was very difficult was to come up with a concept. After that, it's a few files of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, some free sound files found on the internet, some custom icons made on Illustrator, but nothing too difficult. But what was hard for them is to find the right concept. And I really encourage you to spend time thinking about the concept and not rush into coding too quickly. Second prototype I want to show you, it's called Perspex, and it's been developed by the Trinity Mirror at our hackathon at BBC. So we all know the problem, we are getting our news more and more through social network, and their recommendation engines are getting smarter and smarter. So at the end you have we could say in a positive way, you have content that is very personalized to your needs, but on a more negative way, it keeps reinforcing your pre-existing beliefs. And at the end, you're you have really less you're not really likely to see information that's going to contradict your views, that's going to broaden your views, and that if there's a full information, there's likely some information that will contradict it. So propaganda and lies might really spread very easily. So that's a problem, huge problem that Perspex try to tackle. So it's an app, and every day you have access to 10 news topics. So let's choose about Mossack Fonseca. And what they want to do is that they want to burst your filter bubble. They want to enable you to have 3 different opinions from 3 very different sources, so that you can make a really informed decision. So that's it. You see, it's pretty simple. Was Mossack Fonseca to blame? You've got the no from the International Business Times, the yes from The Guardian, and some background information from, doesn't work, but it's from BBC. So that's something, after the hackathon, they loved the idea, but the newsroom didn't like it as much as they did. So it was a project manager, a back-end developer, and they worked on it for 3 months, like during weekends, basically. And at the end of the 6 months, they had the app was working, the CMS was working, they released it, worked super well. The young audience was really interested, because it's a really new take on aggregation. You do not see that. We're going towards more and more personalization. We don't see that kind of thing. And then now they just turned a 6-digit investment from Google DNI, so they keep developing it. So that's really a good success story of what you can do what you can start in just 2 days. Third prototype I want to show you. This one is fairly new. It was developed in April 2016 in New York by the team from Mike. And the idea is that when you see like headlines like that, it has been shown that the audience, they feel shocked maybe, but they also feel disempowered. They're like, what can I do? And they sometimes like just switch off the news, because they're like, why going through the pain of reading like distressing news when there's nothing I can do? So the idea is how to empower the audience, how to empower them and engage them beyond just sharing the story, clicking, and that's all. So that's why they created this iframe that is embeddable on any page, and it's at the end of an article, and it gives the audience like options to act on the news. So you can either sign a petition, attend an event, or donate. And it's like, normally sometimes you have distressing news and you have like the option only to donate, but my audience is really millennial, so they might have not the funds. So there are like really different options just to make something, to make a difference, and to re-engage the audience. And so they developed in just 2 days. This was fully functional, and they also developed the CMS, so super easy to use. It works with Kickstarter API, Eventbrite, and Meetups, and they will add more APIs. So you either paste a specific URL or you enter keywords, then they will suggest you, for example, petitions. And so that has been implemented on their website, and it has been also implemented by another Finnish newsroom when I presented it last year, and they just implemented it as well. So the code is available on GitHub if you want. So that was 3 examples of what you could do in just 2 days. I hope it's going to give you a bit of stamina. Today, what's going to happen? The first challenge is at 6. We're going to go outside to have a mini pitch session. Mini pitch session, you don't need any slides. It's an offline session. It's good sometimes. In 1 minute, you've got to describe the problem you're trying to solve, describe who's your target audience, and don't say it's everybody, because it's not going to work, and give a one-sentence description of your project. I'm going to pass this around, don't worry. And then you're going to ask one question to the audience. So if you have any problems, like, I don't know exactly what tool can I use to make it? Do you think it would be better to make it this way, this way, this way? You can ask the audience, because we're saying it's a competition, but it's still a hackathon, so it should be pretty chilled. And what we want also is to create like collaboration between the different newsrooms. What's gonna happen today? First, we're gonna have the speed geeking. So the speed geeking, it's like a speed dating for geeks, as you might have understood. So you're going to meet the other teams, and you're going to talk about your work, what you've been developed in the last months. Then at noon, we have the Google News Lab workshop by Milan Barsoza. So he's going to give you an update on the latest development of the Google News Lab tools. Then lunch. Then at 2:30, Adrian Blanco from El Confidencial is going to show you some really good example of projects that have helped keep better tab on the government. And then at 6 p.m. we have the pitch session. So we have a working space I'm going to show it to you later in this room, beyond among the other geeks, so they might help. But you can really work everywhere, in this building. So let's see who you are, where are the teams. So is University of Salamanca here? Not yet. Público, well, you're here. Correio do Povo. I first read Correio do Polvo. I was really oh, interesting. So here you are. And so you don't have any developers in your team yet, right? You don't have, you're the only one in your team. Yeah. Okay, he's only, yeah. So we have developers from Cluster Media Labs, right? So would you be interested, and you are designers, right? So who would you be interested in working with a Brazilian team? Yeah? So you could join Correio do Povo, and one of you would like to join? Okay. So you're becoming Brazilian, congratulations. So, Anasson, so welcome. And you're also alone in your, sorry? Okay, so we have a team and they need a designer, so, okay. Here we go, Espresso, oh, good. Vision, you're a team in yourself, Cofina, okay. Cluster Media Labs, all right. Okay, you're not going to be, okay, so you're going to join all the teams, you're not going to part. Okay, Telanon. Okay, so would you mind, I think it would be clearer if Anna's team, can you go here, if you don't mind? And yeah. Just have to have a better idea of so would mind going, sorry, putting you in the corner, like here? Vision, would you mind just going here? Público, I will put you in this little corner here. Just like here. Espresso, sorry. Would you mind going here? Ah, good.